Grace and peace, everybody. Grace and peace. You saw the thumbnail. You saw the title. Let's get at it. Shout out to everyone who stopped by on today. I did not realize that today they were also having the First Amendment speech discussion before Judge McAfee. So there is a lot of stuff going on these YouTube streets today, and I did not realize it. So I appreciate you stopping by on today. Let's see, make sure everything sounds good on that end real quick. I thank y'all so much for that. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So it appears as if my live stream did not go out to everybody. I tell you, man, I'm going to give it a few minutes then. And we'll be back in a moment. Man, it looks like it did not get pushed out to everybody. I apologize about that. I don't know why. What happened there? I tell you, man, YouTube, thank you so much, YouTube. Keep me humble. Keep your guy humble. Do not let your guy get beside himself, YouTube. Don't let that happen. Do not let that happen, YouTube. But it is what it is. Thank you so much for those ones that did get the notification. Thank you for stopping by. I don't know what happened, why YouTube was not pushing it out, but I did see it. It's out now. So sorry, it looks like I'm conflicting with a whole bunch of other people's schedules. I thought I would announce it earlier, but apparently it did not announce it. So good to see JT2000. Thank you for coming by on today. There's a lot of, as I said a moment ago, there's a lot of things going on out here. I did not realize the First Amendment hearing was going to be before Judge McAfee. So we got that going on. I think there's a couple other people that are also doing live streams. A lot of people are live streaming the First Amendment hearing. So let me know, actually, as we're finishing up this, because I do want to talk about Fani Willis's response to Jim Jordan of the Senate Financial Committee or Judicial Committee, his response and request for information pertaining to, basically receipts pertaining to work that she's done with the monies that she's received through federal funding. When we get done with that, if y'all want to, we can go and watch the hearing. I have it queued up and we can watch it as well. But before we get too far, let's go ahead and warm it up. Here we go. Let's go.
Rods. In this gripping second season, we delve deeper into the heart of Georgia, in a state where the odor of mendacity lingers in the air. Our intrepid team of chat room investigators is on a mission to peel back the layers of deceit and uncover the truth. From backroom deals to embezzlement scandals, no stone is left unturned in our pursuit of justice. But as tensions rise and alliances shift, who can be trusted in the Peach State? Join us for a season ripe with drama, where even the fruit isn't safe from corruption, because sometimes the juiciest scandals are right under your nose.
Woo! As the peach rots. So I want to propose a question to you, give you a scenario. Have you ever been in a situation where you work for an employer and you've been given a budget of so many thousands, maybe tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars that you are to allocate and to spend on various and sundry projects? You do everything that you're supposed to do. You've hired the contractors, you've paid the fees, you got the consultants, you bought the donuts and the coffee and all that kind of stuff. You did everything that you're supposed to do with the $100,000 that you were given. However, and all of your all your subordinates, they turned in all their receipts, they did all their reporting, everything like that. However, you forgot to turn it into the finance person. And so you get a spicy email from the finance person. Hey, person, I need those receipts and all of your reporting for the $100,000 that we sent you. We see that you've done some things, but we just want to get those receipts and see that all 100,000 was properly spent. Well, if you saw that, you would probably immediately submit the paperwork to show and to prove that you've done the work that they ask you to do. There'd probably be very little pushback. There'd probably be very little, might be a little bit of apology. I apologize. Tom, I apologize. Sally, I meant to send this in and I missed it. You print the forms, you open up the folder and you forward the folder to them and you're done. Finished. No other questions, no other concerns about it. However, what would happen? What would it look like if you had not done what you were supposed to do with the money? Maybe you spent some of it in the right direction, but maybe you wasted a lot of it. Maybe you didn't do what you were supposed to do with the money. So what would that look like? Well, it probably would look something like what we're looking at with Fani Willis. And we all know Jim Jordan asked her several times, hey, can you show us what you've done with the federal funding that you've received? And Fani Willis initially said, hey, I've sent it to another department. Go ask them, which was kind of weird, but that is what it is. And Jim Jordan sent back like, no, we need you to go ahead and submit that paperwork to us if you don't mind. And Fani Willis, still to this moment, has not submitted said paperwork. So let me pull it in. We're going to just look at it together. We're going to look at an article pertaining to it. Then we're going to actually look at Fani's most recent letter that she sent to Jim Jordan and see what y'all think about it. Because it just seems pretty precarious to me that, hey, if you had done what you're supposed to do, would you be pushing back this hard? I don't know. I don't think so. So let us go. Here we are. And this is Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis laid down the law with Republican Representative Jim Jordan this week. All right, let's see what she's done. Let's see what she's done here. On Wednesday, Zachary Conan of CNN first reported a letter that Willis sent to Jordan's office responding to his subpoena he previously sent requesting more information for a House Judiciary Committee investigation into her use of federal funds. Again, think about it. If you had done what you're supposed to do, how difficult would it be for you to just give them the paperwork? Give them the evidence. I am in receipt of your letter dated March 14th, 2024. I categorically reject the assertion that this office is deficient in responding to the committee's subpoena dated February 2nd, 2024. So basically, I sent you the stuff. How dare you say that I didn't send it to you? Well, would he be asking you for this if in fact you had sent it? This woman just doesn't stop. The letter obtained by, Conan said, as you know, in your letter, we have already provided you with the substantial information about our program that are funded with federal grants. Further, as I expressed to you in my letter dated February 23rd, 2024, this office is in the process of producing relevant documents to you on the rolling basis. We'll come back to that. And is undertaking a good faith approach to provide you with responsive information about our federal grant funding. The letter added, what is a rolling basis? So you're going to just turn in paperwork as you see fit in the time that you want to turn it in? How does that work? How does Fani Willis think she's going to get away with this? And if you remember, Jim Jordan basically said next you're going to be held in contempt of court. Or contempt of Congress, please forgive me, in contempt of Congress. Just give us the paperwork. Just give the man the paperwork. It's not like he's asking for your bank information. He's not asking for your cell phone number. He's asking for the proof and the evidence that you've used the federal funding that they granted you properly. Because remember, part of this was that there was a whistleblower that went to Congress and said, Fani is misusing the funds. So just prove that you didn't misuse the funds. This could all be done away with if Fani Willis would just stop grandstanding and just show and prove that she's done what she was being asked to do. That is, if she actually had done what she was being asked to do. Continue, Jason. There we go. The letter goes on to state that Jordan's request of extensive document demands is unreasonable and uncustomary and would require this government office to divert resources from our primary purpose of prosecuting crime. So we can't give you receipts, paperwork, and documents because we're prosecuting crimes. But we just looked at a Fani Willis is being sued by the ACLU because she has countless people who are being held incarcerated, being held and have not been indicted. What are you doing down there, Fani? What are you doing? This is crazy, but let us continue because it's going to get more and more crazy. In February, Jordan and the House Judiciary Committee issued a subpoena to Willis's office requesting documents relating to her office's receipt and use of federal funds. If you give federal money, you are supposed to use that federal money in the proper way. It's really not that hard. You can't finesse your way out of that. You can't, I decided to go to Waffle House and treat everybody. No, you got to use the money like they ask you to use it. It's really that easy. But let us continue. Willis led the investigation into former President Trump, prompting criticism of her office from many Republicans. Jordan requested information relating to the probe back in February. Jordan requested information related to his probe by February 23rd. And so he gave her even time after that, and she still hasn't given it to him. However, earlier this month, Jordan sent another letter to Willis, threatening to hold her in contempt of Congress if she did not provide further document by March 28th. And that's today. I don't think it's going to happen. Not going to hold my breath. But please just ask yourself, if you had a coworker that behaved like this, if you had a superior that responded like this to their superior, how long do you think they would remain in that position? How long till you hear, we have to let you know that Bob chose to move in another direction. We're here to let you know that Sally decided to leave the company and she's moving on to new projects and new opportunities elsewhere. How long would it take for that to happen? How long? Because you got to wonder if Fani Willis had not done what the whistleblower said that she had done, how difficult and how hard would it be for her to just show and prove that she had not? But she didn't. She hasn't shown, rather, and I think that's part of the reason why. But before we get too far, thank y'all so much, everybody. I do apologize. It looks like my live stream didn't get pushed out there to let everybody know. I appreciate all 60 of you all that have stopped by. I really do appreciate it. You taking your time out today to hang out with me. If you don't mind, if you do like this content, can you hit that like button and let me know that you find value in this type of content? I really do appreciate it. I think I got 10 people that have liked the video, 60 people are watching. So, hey, can I get a little bit more? I'd love it. And if you don't like it, of course, you can always just hit the like button 3 times. It kind of sort of does the same thing. But let's go. While you have indicated that several additional documents may be forthcoming in response to the committee's subpoena, the committee has yet to receive any additional responsive material in the 3 weeks since their initial response, Jordan said in a letter obtained by ABC News. So again, Fani grandstanding, big chesting, bravado all over the place that she has done this, but she hasn't shown anything. And she hasn't shown anything. When? How long do you think it's going to take for her to start pulling out the race card, the sexism card, or any other political ideology card? How long is it going to take? Let's see. Accordingly, the committee expects that you will produce all responsive documents to the subpoena in the categories prioritized by the committee no later than 12 p.m. on March 28th, 2024. So Fani has like 46 minutes at the current moment at the time of recording. She has about 46 minutes before she's going to be held in contempt of court or Congress. This is going to be crazy. If you fail to do so, the committee will consider taking further action, such as the invocation of contempt of Congress proceedings. Boy. And again, if she had the documentation, why would she not just show the documentation and put all of that to rest? Why not just show and prove? Why not say, you know what? Hey, I apologize. We meant to send you this. Here's the email. Here's all the folders. We uploaded it to the K drive. We did that in the third. Why not? Because she didn't do it. Because what the whistleblower said is actually probably true, in my opinion. Let's go. The letter from Willis to Jordan on Wednesday states that they are working on producing additional documents today, but noted that Jordan's efforts will not derail the election interference trial. What does that got to do with anything? Please understand, in these people's mind, all roads lead to Trump. When you have Trump derangement syndrome to this level, like nothing makes sense except to say that Trump somehow is involved in it. But let's continue. My family, my staff, and I have been threatened repeatedly by people making violent, often racist attacks. What's that got to do with you doing your job? What does it have to do with you doing your job? I'm just asking. Fair question. What does it have to do with you doing your job, Lady Willis? Please, what does it have to do? Nothing. Neither those threats nor anything your colleagues and you say or do will deter us from fulfilling our duty to bring this case to trial, the letter said. Wow. Fani, just do your job. Do the job that the people of Fulton County expect you to do. If you use the money correctly, then just show it. But again, this goes back to, we saw this on the stand when she said she would not let them see her bank records. She actually came with no records to prove anything, none whatsoever. Again, there's countless examples of this. And I think it goes to show Fani Willis doesn't care. Like, she does not care. She's just going to do whatever she wants to do. She'll probably still be trying to prosecute this case. If she went to jail, she'd be trying to prosecute writing briefs from jail, briefs from prison, briefs from cell block B. I don't know. Like, just stop it, Fani. Just stop. Just stop. Do what you're supposed to do, what the people of Fulton County expect from you. But this is her hobby horse project. She's tied all of her identity into this. Same thing with Letitia James up in New York. She literally ran on the platform of prosecuting Trump. And there's no other way around it. Like, this is her identity. This is what she believes that she should be doing. This is what she believes, dare I say, her calling in life. And therefore, she's not going to let go of it. She's pugnacious, and sadly, she's probably going to carry this thing, drag it all the way down, because she refuses to let go of it. But Jason, what did Jim Jordan actually say to her? I appreciate you asking that. That's a great question. I think we should look at it and maybe parse it apart a little bit and see, maybe Jim Jordan was being a little bit harsh. Maybe old Jimmy J was not being very kind. And maybe that's why she's being so brash and pushing back so hard and so on and so forth. So let's take a second. This is from Representative Jim Jordan. I'll make sure to leave this link down in the description as well, so you can read it as well. It was sent via email. And this is to Representative Jim Jordan. Dear Mr. Jordan, I am in receipt of your letter dated March 14th, 2024. I categorically reject the assertion that this office is deficient in responding to the committee subpoena dated February 2nd, 2024. So we're looking at almost a month and a week. So 5 weeks. In 5 weeks, she's saying that she has. Like, how dare you say we haven't sent you the stuff? We have sent you. How dare you say that I'm deficient in responding? Let's continue. As you note in your letter, we have already provided you with substantial information about the programs that are funded via federal grants. Further, as I expressed to you in my letter dated February 23rd, 2024, this office is in the process of producing very relevant documents to you on a rolling basis and is undertaking a good faith effort to provide you with responsive information about our federal grant funding. As part of the ongoing process, we are again today making a document production. Let me ask you a question. If you had done this, you receive let's just say $100,000 in grant money, and you're spending it out, are you not capturing what you're spending that stuff on? Like, how is this a difficult process? I'll tell you what Fani reminds me of. Fani reminds me of a grade school teacher that just gives grades. They don't grade homework. They don't grade projects. They don't grade tests. They just give grades. Then at the end of the semester or end of the quarter or whatnot, he or she goes scrambling through their grade book to give justification for the grades that they've been giving. So let's just say little Tommy and little Sally got an A and a B respectfully. And now Miss Bumblebee is trying to figure out, how did I come up with little Tommy getting a A and little Sally getting a C, or vice versa, whatever it was. And it sounds like this person is just going in, adding grades to the grade book. And now when most school teachers have an electronic grade book, and they also have a physical grade book, the old school, write the grade in with a pen grade book. You write the assignment on the left-hand side and then you write the grade, is old school. But most teachers know that they got to have a hard copy of their grades because somebody might ask. A parent might come in one day. I'll tell you a story. I had a parent come in, and I had sent, every Friday, we used to send home your child's work. The parent took the child's work and corrected mistakes. Mistakes were changed. And like, for example, the child got a C on the test. There was 10 questions. She got 4 wrong. She got a C. All right. And the parent went home and changed the test, erased it, had the child rewrite the right answer, so on and so forth. And the woman came into the office, big chest, with the Friday folder. You know, Mr. Whitaker's horrible. He's giving my child bad grades. I went over and checked these, and look, this answer is right. So the principal, headmaster, went through with the rubric as well as the scoring sheet and said, yeah, because we would do like grade level testing. So everybody in second grade would have the same test. And then in the main office were all of the curriculum. So you could always go back and see if we were doing the same test. Then here's the score sheet. And the principal's like, yeah, this answer's wrong. Mr. Whitaker was wrong. And it's such like that. So I get called to the office. Mr. Whitaker, can you please come to the office and please bring your grade book? Whenever they ask you to come to the office and bring your grade book, you know it's going south. Well, I came in there skipping and proud. And they were all like, oh, okay, Whitaker's ready. I said, yeah, absolutely. What's going on? Well, Miss Sunflower over here, I looked at her test, and her daughter's test, you graded them wrong. I said, oh, really? Show me what's wrong. And they showed me the test, like, wow, that's pretty terrible. Okay, well, Mr. Whitaker, what did you do? I said, I don't know. Let me look at the photocopies. And I pulled out all of her tests, and I had photocopied every last one of them. And I dropped it down in front of her and said, oh, these look different. That was the end of that conversation. They threw that woman, they threw Miss Sunflower out on a hot rail because she was lying on me. She went home and changed all the tests. And then moving forward, I started sending home the photocopies of the tests. I never sent home the hard copies. And that fixed that problem moving forward. I never heard from that woman again. Now, I think they should have threw her out on her ear and kicked her child out. But, you know, hey, that's me. Now, why did I tell you that story? I told you that story, one, because there's 110 of y'all watching this live stream, which is amazing. Thank you so very much for that. Thank you for finding value in this. But I also told you this because I knew that I had my work in place. I knew that I had all my documentation in place. Every Friday, I would sit down and make sure I put in every one of my kids' tests from the various tests, because we did all our tests on Friday. So every Friday, we literally had 5 or 6 tests sometimes, spelling tests and Bible tests and science tests and math, everything. We do it all. And I would sit down and make sure all of that was in our electronic system, and I would put it in my physical book, and then I would send that test home in the kids' Friday folder. So, and then I actually moved it to Thursday because it gave us a little bit more time to get the photocopies ready. But why am I telling you that story? I knew that I had all my stuff in a row. When my principal called for me, when my headmaster asked me to come to the office with my grade book, And I said, let me go on and grab this. I already knew what was going on. So I grabbed that folder of all that work that I had made copies of, and I knew where it was, and I was writing it. I was right. Why is Fani Willis not doing that? Why is Fani Willis not saying, hey, Jim Jordan, here's my grade book. Hey, Jim Jordan, here's my folder with all my work and all my reports? Because she hasn't done it. She hasn't done it. And she's just big chesting, grandstanding, trying to be black girl magic, city girl OG, but rather than do what she's supposed to be doing, because I think the whistleblower was probably right. They spent that money on swag, on t-shirts and computers, and they weren't supposed to do it for that, use it for that. And I think that's what happened. But Fani just won't admit, hey, I used this money wrong. Well, one, she can't just say she used the money wrong. There's going to be a major hand slap if she did that. But even beyond that, she just knows that she's not right. And she won't just admit like, yo, I did the wrong thing. She's not. And she's going to drag this whole entire thing down. Please understand, this case is not going to see the light of day, and primarily because of Fani Willis. Let us continue. Let us go. The primary complaint, down at the bottom. Oh, and who in the world says, I'm going to roll out information to you when I get a chance to give it to you? Who does that? Who does that? Besides Fani Willis, of course. Your primary complaint appears to be that we did not complete the production of your extensive document demands, including 5 categories of documents over a 4-year period in less than 2 months. No, ma'am, you had 5 years. You had 60 months to capture that data. That's the problem. See, this is a teacher who's sitting there in grading period and is sweating bullets because she doesn't know why she gave this kid a 78 on the spelling test. But she needs to find some kind of documentation to that fact. And she doesn't know why. This is a teacher that has been giving out grades. And now she's got to go back in and got to fix it in her grade book. Or she's got to put it in the physical grade book and then upload it into the electronic grade book so that the principal can see it. Because some schools, the principal wants to see the grades before you even submit the grades to the report card. So the principal can see your electronic grade book. And she's trying to update her electronic grade book, and she don't have any documentation for it. Some principals literally, or some school districts, want you to scan in the evidence or the artifact for that grade. So yeah, you got the kids' work, you made a copy for yourself, upload that copy and attach it to the grade so they can see it. For this kind of foolishness. Like I dealt with Miss Sunflower, came to there and lied and changed grades on her kid's report card, on her kid's test. Let us continue. The demand is unreasonable and uncustomary and would require the government office to divert resources from our primary purpose of prosecuting crime. Listen to how grandstand this woman is. And she's speaking to somebody who can really ruin her day. Okay? She can try black girl magic all day long. She can wiggle her fingers and twinkle her nose and say black girl magic 3 times. But please understand, Jim Jordan can really bring a lot of issues for Fani. Look how she responds to him. And this is supposed to be a woman that we respect and esteem, the face of feminism, right? This is her. Let me be clear. While we are abiding by your subpoena in good faith and with due diligence, we will not divert resources that undermine our duty to the people of Fulton County to prosecute felonies committed in this jurisdiction. Ma'am, why are you being sued by the ACLU for not doing that? I'm just wondering. We will not shut down this office's efforts to prosecute crime. Who asked you to shut down your office and not do the job that the people of Fulton County ask you to do? This is grandstanding. This is gaslighting. This is, in my opinion, just the complete and utter arrogance of Fani Willis that is going to cause her case to hit an iceberg and take on water. Let's continue. We will not shut down this office efforts to prosecute crimes, including gang activities, acts of violence, and public corruption, to meet the unreasonable deadlines in your publicly motivated investigation of this office. So she is now not only impugning Representative Jordan, now she knows his motivation for doing this. He is publicly trying to shame Fani Willis. How dare you, Jimbo Jordan? How dare you publicly shame her? How dare you? Shame. Amazing. And again, like, she wants people to take her seriously. Now, she already said, look, I don't got all my grades, Mr. Caterpillar. I don't have all my grades in my grade book. I'm putting in the grades right now. I'm putting together artifacts. In some school districts, this is a crime. Matter of fact, this is part of the problem with the Atlanta cheating scandal, was that people were making up stuff. They were lying on standardized testing. So it seems to me to be so comical that Fani Willis prosecuted those teachers in that Atlanta public school cheating scandal, and she herself is doing very similar thing with federal funding. You can't make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up. As noted above, included with this correspondence are additional documents responsive to your subpoena, including the documents that are responsive to priority categories identified in your March 14th, 2024 letter. We will make another production in the coming weeks. Does this sound like somebody who has done their due diligence? She make it sound like everybody from the janitor to the valet to the secretary to the DA is going to stop doing this in order to produce this information. And that's not the case. The likelihood is that there's probably an office, 2 or 3, maybe 5 individuals that are already signed to this funding, that's already assigned to this and are supposed to be given the documentation to it. Why don't you just have it, Fani? That's the question. But look at the end of this. This is the part that just takes the cake and runs out the door. However, let me again state this clearly. Nothing that you do will derail the efforts of my staff and I to bring the election interference prosecution to trial so that a jury of Fulton County citizens can determine the guilt or innocence of the defendants. All right. I want you to go back and look at Nathan Wade's resignation letter. And I want you to go back and look at Fani Willis's response to Nathan Wade's resignation letter. And you'll notice something, and you'll read this as well, and you'll notice something. They make lots of tacit and veiled commentary about what? About Fulton County, their jurisdiction, case staying in our boundaries, our county boundaries. They don't want this case to go anywhere but to Fulton County. They don't want it to go to Athens. They don't want it to get moved to Tifton County. They don't want it to get moved to Rome. They want it to stay in Fulton County. And I think that is going to be part of the problem. Because if this case is good, let's say that it's legitimate, then it would be legitimate in Fulton. It would be legitimate in Rome, in Athens, in Tifton, in Bibbs, or any other county that it could possibly move to. You see that mentioned a lot. And I think that's going to be when the case falls apart and is no more, you're going to remember like, yeah, they could have probably moved this somewhere else and maybe tried with another place. Maybe Cobb County would have taken it. I don't know. Dallas might have taken it. I don't know. But I see this a lot where they mention, just kind of underline that we're going to hold on to this case you're going to have to remove this case from my cold, dead hands. That's tacitly what she's saying. But let's continue. My family, then at the end, my family and staff and I have been threatened repeatedly by people making violent, often racist attacks. Neither those threats nor anything your colleagues and you say or do will deter us from fulfilling our duty to bring this case to trial. And there's Fani Willis's signature, and she is done. I have no idea. I have no idea how that woman is going to stay employed with that type of behavior. But crazier things have happened. More banana things have gone on than this before. So I can't be totally surprised, but I'm kind of shocked. So I appreciate it though. Hey, there are 148 of y'all watching this video. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. I'm hoping that you're finding value in me giving this little color commentary on this situation right there. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Welcome everybody. Come on in. Please, down in the chat, make sure everybody new feels good. Make sure that they make sure they feel welcome. Get them something to drink. Pull out the chair, all that kind of good stuff. And at the end of the day, I hope that you know that, look, I'm just here to give commentary on this, to read over it and give my little 2 cents. My name's Jason. Again, I'm a Christian content creator. I like to give cultural commentary from a Christian perspective and help you to see, you know what? A lot of this stuff doesn't make sense. A lot of this stuff doesn't fly at all. So that was the whole purpose of that. And I thank y'all. What do we got here? Thank you so much. Q funding the Fulton County, the Fani Willis RICO Charge Defense Fund. She says, "Dear Jimmy, that was cute. You will get it when I give it to you. Have several seats. King Kong ain't got nothing on me. I'm the HGIC. Love, Fani." That is true. Fani is something else. I don't understand it. King Kong ain't got nothing on Fani. I don't understand it. But that's that woman, man. That's that woman right there. That thing is amazing to me. Like, why are you like this? Why are you like this, Fani? But hey, real quick, let's see. Berean Babe's in the building. Good to see you. Thank you so much. And okay, so the question was, should we do the live stream of the hearing? And real quick, in the chat, let me know, do y'all want to do that? Do y'all want me to pull in the live stream from the First Amendment hearing that's going on in Fulton County right now about Trump? If y'all want me to, let me know. And just drop a yes in the chat. That'd be great. I know several other content creators are discussing it. I know Lead is and Nez is as well, a couple others. So I would gladly throw my hat in the ring as well. And such like that. If y'all want me to, we'll gladly do it. Absolutely. Bella Dean says, "These are two separate cases. What does one have to do with the other? This is about spending youth program in the clubhouse." And that's Bella right there. I don't know. Please understand, Fani Willis and her people have Trump derangement syndrome. I think it's at like stage 7. So it's pretty bad. And literally every sentence, everything is punctuated with an understanding of Trump or what's going on with him. It's pretty bad. I think we really need to put them on the sick and shut-in list at your local Baptist church because they need prayer. They need prayer. All right, so most people want that. I appreciate it then. Hey, then while I pull it in, I got 47 people that are liking this video. Can I get it to 50? And I'll bring this in and we'll watch it together. Well, that's not it. That's me. Let's try that another way. Or is it over? I think it's still going on. Okay. Here it is. Okay. to no sound. Hold on 1 second. No sound. No sound, they said. All right, 1 second. Why does it say that there's no sound from the boogie down? No sound. All right. Give me a second. Let's do this. No sound from the boogie down. All right. All right, I'm going to try it again just real quick. Apparently, I can back up a little taste, and let's see. Because I can hear it on my end, so I want to make sure y'all can hear it. And Susie's in the building. Thank you, Susie, for stopping by. Thank you for letting me know that the sound was not coming through. And I'm going to wait for it to populate. 1 second. I appreciate it. Thank you for liking the live stream. Let's see. I might have messed it up. Let's see. All right. Why is it not playing correctly? All right, let's see. All right, let's see if this is right, my good people. All right, can you hear this? Let's see. Man, thank you, Mr. Before we get too far, the audio is playing on my end, so I want to make sure it's playing on you all. Can you all hear it or no? And if not, then I will make another adjustment accordingly. I don't see anybody commenting yay or nay. Well, in the meantime, thank you so much, Mr. I told you, or rather told you. She is supported by a majority of Black Fulton County residents who are oblivious to the dirty deeds her office has imposed on them as well. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. The willful people will absolutely follow her right off the cliff. Can you all hear this real quick? Still can't hear it. Well, that's not cool. Let's do this differently then. We'll make one more adjustment. I appreciate it though. Thank y'all. All right, we're going to try like this. And see, this should do it now. Yeah, I do sincerely apologize about that. One of the things is that on my end, I can hear it, so I didn't know that you all couldn't. So when I tested it beforehand, it just seemed like it worked. And it will not let me play it like that. So that's going to be problematic. Okay. Well, that is horrible. I wonder why it's doing that. Okay, let's back up a few steps. I wonder why it will not allow me to play this and talk about it. So let's go back. So what we'll do, I'm going to probably end up just looking at somebody else's stream because I don't know why I can't stream it. It allowed me to play it earlier when I was testing before we started our live stream. That's crazy. I see Nez had it. Absolutely. I wonder why it won't let me. Lead is looking at it. Lead is looking at it. Why can I not play it though? I don't want to play leads live. That's crazy. All right, last time. Let's try this one more time. Sorry about that. I do appreciate y'all's patience, y'all. This is a learning experience for me as well as for you. All right, let's see what we got. Will it let me pull it in? All right. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, so I'm pulling it in. I'm gonna try again to pull it in and see if we can, we're gonna try it like this again. All right. Last time, best time. Let's see what we got. I'm gonna let it play. Let me know what, just drop a 1 in the chat if you can hear it. Thank you so much.
You know, and they latch onto that to say, pay no attention to the reality of what happened in this courthouse, in the court filings, which destroys their argument. And so, with that, Your Honor, I'll sit down, and then I'll go back and get my other folder.
All right. So can you all, before that was I think that was Floyd, Attorney Floyd. Can you all just real quick, did you all hear that? Okay, there we go. That's what I want to see. We see some ones in the chat. There we go. All right. Nakia said Judge McAfee is going to stress her out anyway. He says, okay, Jason, Judge McAfee is going to frustrate us. And I think you're right, Mr. I told you. Lee's getting sound because he told them, you don't know who I am. Mucho gusto. All right, let's see what we got. I'm glad everybody can hear it. Perfect. All right. That's what I want to hear. All right. Well, I want to hear what they're talking about, but that's what I want to hear, that y'all can hear it. So let's jump back in. Let's go. What's going on, Queen Fab? Good to see you. Oh, she gifting out memberships? There we go. That's what's up. Thank you. All right. I see you. No, was gifted. I'm sorry. Who's gifting out memberships like that? Go ahead. All right, let's go.
So, on your last motion here, kind of as we were with the First Amendment issue, I think we need to figure out where we are procedurally. You know, federally, it sounds like, you know, this would be a pretty common motion. It'd be a surplusage motion. Georgia, it's not quite as clear for us. So, excuse me. Let's start with just the authority to kind of take a scalpel to an indictment and cut out things we don't like.
Well, I mean, Your Honor, we talk about, there are two components to this motion. One, there's the strike surplusage, and then there's a dismissal that we asked for, which is kind of also a component of the other. Now, you know, we cite the State v. Corin on the issue of being able to, you know,
And by the way, real quick, while he's getting himself together, I do see that Kiana has gifted, there we go. Kiana has gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much, Q. Thank you for supporting what we're doing over here. It looks like several of you all have been deputized or given memberships. So can you please, if you got a membership, can you please say thank you to Kiana and just type her name. Just type Q. Thank you, Q, in the chat. Thank you so much, Kiana. That's such a blessing. Thank you so much. Very kind of you, friend. Very kind.
The allegation, the indictment is not wholly unnecessary to constitute an offense is mere surplusage. We think.
Right. But when we read the surplusage opinions, we're talking about, you know, a miscited code section or a wrong date or something like that. So I don't know. I don't think that's what you're characterizing.
No. I guess this is where I'm.
It's more just a legal conclusion, right?
Let me. A legal conclusion, number one, but it's even more than that.
What is it?
It's this. When they continually, in their pleadings, in the indictment, in their pleadings, in their extrajudicial comments that they make, they have bombarded the defendants, the electors in this case, with the concept of and the phrase of fake electors. Now that is not, that is a description, a conclusion, and a pejorative description.
So it's a legal conclusion you very much disagree with. It's the core of your defense.
I think it's not only a legal conclusion, but it's also something that should be stricken because it is just a pejorative statement. I'm not saying, I'm saying, I can call you something really nasty in an indictment, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a legal conclusion about your violation of a particular law. And so that's what we have here. And we have this permeating this case.
Well, I'm just trying to, again, based on what we've seen and is allowable in Georgia, let's just make it simpler. If in a murder indictment someone's alleged to have acted with malice aforethought, that's a legal conclusion.
Well, that's right.
And it's something that the defendant may really have an issue with. But we don't strike it. We just go forward and we go to trial.
Different world, different cases, not the point that I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is, and you put in malice aforethought because you put that in there to define the terms.
Sure. What about this one? There's one I remember where we talk about nicknames and aliases. And I remember there's one in Georgia from the 90s. They put in an alias of Stomper. And he had beat the defendant to death.
Well,
and the Supreme Court said, that's okay.
You know why? Because they probably proved that there was an alias of that guy called Stomper. That's different than the
trial. The state's saying we're going to prove that you're unlawful elector.
Well, no. In this indictment, what they have done in the indictment, it's not necessary if they want to, and we think it should be stricken. We think the count should be dismissed. We know that based upon the case law that we've cited. But in closing arguments, Lord forbid we ever get to closing arguments, hope we don't. But if we did, and they stood up and they said, well, we think that they were we think the evidence shows that they were fake electors. That's one thing. That's argument. That's advocacy. There's no place for it in the indictment. And there's no place for it in what they have done, not only in the indictment, but in their pleadings and statements they've made outside to the media. What they have tried to do is they want to have ingrained in the minds of the community and of jurors a concept that if you were not a Democratic elector on December the 14th, casting your vote at some other part of the state capitol, then you are a fake elector. And that is a pejorative term, not necessary for the charges, and should be stricken. That's the point that we're trying to make. And as it relates to our other arguments concerning the dismissal of those counts, I don't think I need to go back over most of my argument, or our argument on that really deals with the Electoral Count Act, so I don't think I need to revisit that in case the court
we'll get there.
really wants to hear that again. I don't think you do. But absent that, Your Honor, we think, number one, that the count should be dismissed for the reasons articulated earlier and in our pleading, and number two, that even if the counts are dismissed, in addition to that, references throughout the indictment to fake electors should be stricken as well. Thank you, Your Honor.
Wow.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Yellen.
All right. So the whole argument is terms that are being used by both sides, I think particularly by the state, in referring to fake electorates or electors. And okay, I kind of understood that. Again, my name is Jason. I'm a pre-K law student. I know nothing. So hearing this, I kind of get where he's going with that. I don't know how easy it will be for Judge McAfee to make a decision on it, but at least I do understand what he's attempting to say, which is you are poisoning the well by using terms like fake electorate, saying that, of course, by default, there's something wrong with this people because it's fake, kind of like a fake designer handbag or a fake pair of designer shoes or whatnot. By default, you're assuming that these shoes are subpar to the originals or not up to the standard of the original. So I kind of get that. Yeah, pretty much all of this is going to be before Judge McAfee, Tawanda. If I'm not mistaken, the entire case, if this goes to trial, then that would be the judge that would be sitting there, and former President Trump would be in there somewhere, and they'd probably be in a bigger courtroom. But yeah, this is it. It might actually be this courtroom. I don't know. That's a great question. All right, let's go finish this up.
Judge, I'll be brief. Nowhere in this indictment is the phrase fake elector. It does not exist. Literally not in the indictment. So I'm not really sure what we're talking about, removing something from the indictment that's not there.
All right, I see.
As the court pointed out, and I struggle with this motion, and I'm not going to say much because we're primarily relying on our response, but an indictment is itself a legal conclusion. Every allegation in an indictment is a legal conclusion. That's what an allegation is. And so if indictments aren't allowed to have legal conclusions, then I guess we aren't allowed to have indictments anymore. Judge, I think what the defense's strategy is here, and I know it's their strategy because they asked for it in the motion. They say, Judge, you should strike this language from these counts because we don't like it, it's not fair, it's pejorative, whatever reason. And now that you've stricken it, the counts don't charge a crime anymore, so you should dismiss them because they don't charge a crime anymore. That's nonsensical. We cite in our briefs opinions where the appellate court said you literally can't do that. If something's essential to the charge, if it's essential to pleading an essential element of the charge, you can't strike it. It's not subject to being stricken. And I just highlight one citation that we reference in our brief, Malloy versus the state, 293 Georgia 350 2013 Supreme Court case. And that case says that when language in an indictment accurately describes the offenses charged and makes them easier to understand or more easily understood, they're not subject to being stricken because they're not surplusage. And that in making that in analyzing language in an indictment, in this context, Malloy also says that the language is to be interpreted liberally in favor of the state. And so with that, again, we rely on our pleadings. The phrase fake elector does not exist in this indictment. Take any questions that the court may have, but otherwise, nothing further.
Maybe one.
He'd be laid back. He'd be laid back, chilling.
Talking about whether defects, can be stricken, and a lot of that depended on whether they're material or non-material. Is it safe to say that these phrases, the ones that are highlighted here, lawful elector votes, false electoral college votes, and duly elected and qualified presidential electors, would you say those are material phrases for each of the charges they appear in?
Hey, what's up, his servant? Good to see you. Grace and peace. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support. Will not make the right judgment. Okay, I'm gonna read what you're saying, Nancy. Give me 1 second. Thank you all so much. I appreciate. Looks like almost 350 of you all are watching. I really am glad that you're finding value. We just jumped in toward the end of this. I think it's almost over, or it might have actually ended since I've started. And we're just looking at the case, trying to get a little understanding of what Judge McAfee has got going on. So thank y'all so much for stopping by. Nancy says, Judge McAfee will not make the right judgment in ruling on this case as he's afraid. And re-election is coming for him. So instead of following the laws, he is only worried about being re-elected. Okay. I can see why you say that. Totally can see it. Let us get this done. Let's go.
So I think that's a great question, and I think
Absolutely.
There's kind of a superficial answer and then maybe a more in-depth answer. My superficial answer is yes, they're material in the sense that they make the charges more easily understood. They're accurate to describe the charges. I am familiar with that line of cases, and it's a little bit unclear in the cases whether material means that or whether material means that.
Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you, Tawanda.
You strike something from the indictment that the count falls apart. So I'm not clear. What I know is in this context, I don't think it matters because what's being challenged, I think it's approved of by our appellate decision.
If you've happened to go down that road, though, and we take the position that material means it can still survive general demur. Any thoughts there?
Judge, again, turning back to Malloy, the holding in Malloy is that as long as the language in an indictment, even if it's not essential to an essential element, as long as it's accurate, it describes the offense's charge, and it makes it more easy to understand, it's simply not surplusage. If it's not surplusage, it's not subject to being stricken.
But do we think these phrases are material and meaning they're necessary to survive a general demur? I don't have them in front of me. So.
I don't either,
Okay.
and so I hesitate to give an answer without the indictment in front of me.
That's fine.
You know, again, as long as the charges track the statute, they survive a general demur. So anything that's not statutory language, I guess, wouldn't fall into that category. But then we get into special demur territory, and that's a whole different situation.
Right. Fair enough.
Thank you, Judge.
All right.
Okay. Thank you all. Anything else we should, or matters of housekeeping, anything else we need to take up before we break? Anything
Oh,
from
we
the
break?
state?
Oh, man. We done?
From the state, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Young. Anything from either counsel? Okay. Then we'll be adjourned. Thank you.
Wait, when they coming back?
Thank you, Judge.
All right, so you've just
Oh.
adjourning court for now without issuing a ruling on these pretrial motions in Mr. Trump and another co-defendant's Fulton County case. There was a motion filed by Mr. Trump's legal team, as well as the legal team of former Georgia Republican Committee Chair David Schaefer, and they were trying again to get the indictment, the election interference indictment against them, thrown out. The basis for their motions this time was the First Amendment. They are claiming that the statements that they made that are connected to the charges here are essentially protected free speech, that they're constitutionally protected free speech, that they were essentially making political speech, and it's not something that they should be prosecuted for. Legal experts that we have been speaking with say it's very unlikely that the judge would grant this motion to dismiss on this basis. I actually have an attorney joining me live here for our stream at 1 p.m., our Beyond the Headlines stream, where I do frequently have attorney guests to really go beyond the headlines, break down what all this means.
Oh, man, it took it
See,
down.
we have the shot going down right now, but again, Judge Scott McAfee has now put court in recess for right now for the lunch break, and has not issued a ruling, but we're going to stay on top of this here on Atlanta News First Plus. Thank you so much for being with us, and have a great day.
I don't know about y'all, but I'm really liking Atlanta News First Plus. I'm starting to like them. I was taking my daughter to school yesterday, and I saw one of their vans riding around Marietta Square. I don't know. I'm starting to like them. I like the way they approach it. It seemed to be pretty. Everybody's biased, so let's not pretend like we're not. So, but I like Atlanta News Plus. So okay. Hey, I really do appreciate it. There was some good commentary in here. Hold on. Oh my gosh, there's some good commentary that's popped up in here. Formerly, Cornelia says that Trump is definitely corrupt. Okay. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for stopping by. I agree with you, Nancy. Tawanda says, that's why I ask if he was the same judge. Watch his questions and his demeanor. I'm praying for this case. Absolutely. Hola to Ricardo Grady in the Hawaiian Islands. Sir, you're going to have to send me a little bit of that sunshine out there. I would love to see what it's like out there. I've never been to Hawaii. That would definitely be an interesting trip for sure. Let's see what we got. Absolutely. Hola, my friend. Good to see you, D. Good to see you. Vicky says, does Fani have any other dresses? I don't know. I'm sure she might have one or two. I'm sure of it. she might have one or two for sure. Ooh, I like that. Oh, that one's rough right there. DEI didn't earn it. Wow, I like it. But so we started this live stream out looking at Fani's response to Representative Jim Jordan, who said, "Hey, where's our receipts at? Where's the receipts at, Fani?" Fani said, "Hey, you're gonna get them receipts when I give you them receipts. Back down. So check yourself." So there's that. And then we decided to jump over real quick and check out the First Amendment hearing. And at the current moment, it seemed like a very interesting case. I don't know. I kind of understand what the state is saying. I kind of understand what they're saying. Now, I do admit have not been keeping up with this particular case, but just the bit that I've seen and a little bit that I was able to extrapolate before we started our live stream, I kind of understand what they're doing. Again, can't say emphatically that I agree with it all, but I can kind of understand it. So therein is the rub. Like, I understand it. Now, what do we do with that? I don't know, but I kind of understand what they're saying. I do understand what the defense is saying as well, though. So there is that. I didn't hear all of that. So hopefully when Judge McAfee comes back and makes a decision, I don't know if he'll make a ruling today. Hopefully he will. It'll at least be very clear and we can say, there we go. I agree with that. Because I think we need some things that the vast majority of people can say, okay, I get what you're saying. So that would be my hope and prayer for that. Thank you so much. It looks like 116 of you all have liked this video. Thank you. And hopefully that means that you're finding value in it. So if you do find value in this, please make sure you hit that like button. I really do appreciate it. Tawanda says, wait, there we go. Tawanda says, reading my word this morning, and James too, really have to ponder on it more. A really good study on what's going on today. I got you. Texas Christians for Trump, 2024 Hispanics. God is amen. Okay. All right. Yeah, I thought Fani's response was just, I don't know if it was necessarily casual, but I felt like it was definitely not somebody who has the actual paperwork, that's done the actual work. And like, oh, I got the receipts. Let me just get these done. Because I can't imagine that there's not a 2 or 3, maybe even more people in her office that are responsible for that are responsible for federal funding, that are responsible for documentation of federal funding. I just can't believe it. I just can't believe that there's, that Fani is keeping track of that. Like, she's got the receipts in her purse, on her computer. I just don't believe that. That office is entirely too big. There's too many other people involved. There's no way. There's no way. You know what, D? I forgot to mention that this is the best live chat on the entire platform. Thank you so much. If you're new or you've been around forever, this is the best, the absolute best live chat on YouTube, period, bar none. I don't care what you say. We can fight. Trust me, we can fight. Enough is enough. Give him a thumbs up, brother. Thank you so much. So yeah, I'm just like, Fani's responses don't come across like somebody who actually has the work done. And it seems more and more, and I think the more, and we're probably in agreement, the more and more she pushes back, the more and more the whistleblower is starting to look like he or she was correct in calling her out. Because if you had the receipts, you would just show the receipts. It's not, again, like we're asking to see your Netflix account. We're not asking to see your Macy's bill. We're asking you to give the paperwork for federal funding that you've received. That's it. Like, just do what you're supposed to do, Fani. And it just seems like if she was a straight dealer, she had done what she was supposed to do, I don't think we would be having this dialogue and this discussion, because she'd already done it. But herein is the rub. That's why we're here, because I don't think she's done it. I don't think she's actually done what she's supposed to do. The whistleblower is right. And we see that even with things like how she outlined how she paid back Nathan. I'm sorry. Though I've heard valid arguments for why an attorney might have a lot of cash in their house. Heard a lot of stories about that. And like, okay, I got you. Okay, I hear you. But I just don't believe it. And yeah, so it's definitely up to, it's definitely something to be wondered, something to be considered. So there's that. Let's see. All right, I wonder, Ricardo says, and Ricardo is giving me stuff I don't even know. So you well outside of my wheelhouse. I'm a pre-K law student. And Ricardo says, I wonder how much would the alternate electorate precedent in the state of Hawaii in the 1960s Kennedy versus Nixon election play into this ruling? That's a great question. I don't know. The best and fair chat channel. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. Adelita, I love it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Fani did what she did, and she isn't embarrassed. However, I am embarrassed for her. Yeah, second degree embarrassment is real when you're dealing with Fani. I do want to talk about somebody brought to my attention that her speaking at the Easter egg hunt, talking about nobody's really interested in a 52-year-old woman in a relationship with a man. I might have to go back and readdress that issue, because she really downplays the thing. And this is what we do as sinners. We downplay the most egregious parts of us and try to elevate things that are not. Ma'am, it's not just that you were in a relationship with a man. That's not the case at all. It's the fact that the man was married and that you hired him to do something that he wasn't qualified to do. Like, there's a lot of layers that nobody else would excuse a man if they did that, but they'll excuse Fani, and that makes no sense. Most of my dealings have been with tax attorneys, but I've never met a lawyer who didn't keep immaculate records, especially for spending and billing. Always keep receipts. I agree. I don't think that's a lap too far or asking for too much to say, if you're an attorney, you would probably keep some kind of records. I mean, it would be akin to saying like, well, my accountant doesn't keep records. It just seems weird. Like, that's what you deal with all the time. Why would you not keep records? Common sense. Okay. Would have a safe in the office for cash payments. Okay. I mean, there's literally a very well-known YouTuber who has a very clear understanding. I think most of us respect this person and would not look at him as a shady dealer. I'm actually going to find the video real quick. It's like 8 minutes long. I totally understand where you all are. Like, how dare she have cash in her house? This person explained it really well, though. So, you know what? Let's do this. If y'all want me to, I'll pull in the video and we'll check it out from a well-respected YouTuber, and just kind of, and now I look at it, it's actually it's in his members deal. I don't know if I'm supposed to do that. Sorry about that. Here, you know what I'll say? I'll say like this. If you are a member of the lead attorney, if you go under his membership tab, he has a video called I Had the Cash, and he explains it, and it makes sense. So I do understand, Vicky. I totally get you, Vicky Camacho. I get you. However, I kind of understand now why it is that particular types of attorneys end up having a lot of cash. It made sense now. So again, do I agree with it? Not necessarily. Do I think that that's right? Not even a little bit. But I do understand why it would be akin. Okay, here, I'll make it real simple. If anybody's ever worked in a tip-heavy industry, in a previous life, Dear World Christian was a doorman at a hotel, okay? And I would have a lunchbox. Okay, I have a little lunchbox. 1 second. I got this Spider-Man lunchbox. I don't know where I got it from, 100 years ago. And because I worked in a tip-heavy position, this lunchbox was full of cash. It's not full of cash now. It's got like markers in it or something. I think my kids were using it for markers. Yeah, it's full of markers. But so because I worked in a tip-heavy industry, and like probably every month, when I first started, it was every 2 months, I would take this lunchbox full of cash to the bank and deposit it. And the better I got at doing my job at the hotel, it became every month, and then every couple of weeks. And then it became once a week. I would take this to literally full of cash to the bank and deposit money into the bank. So I can understand. So I'm not saying that it's right, not saying I agree with it all, but I can understand why, after listening to the lead attorney, especially if I don't want to disrespect him because it's under the membership tab. I just realized that. But if you go check out his channel, he explains it. I'm like, yeah, I can understand why it's there. All right. And hear me, I don't keep cash like that anymore either. I'm just saying I can understand why it's possible that, and this is the problem. If we had to go to court to say Fani's a low down, dirty, rotten because she said she had cash in her house, and how dare she, I can't imagine she'd have $20,000 in cash. If they played the lead attorney's video, she would get off. I'm just going to say it like that because he explained it. He explained her role in and why a client might very well come into your office and give you $10,000 at 5:30 at night. And you're having a meeting with them and they meet you and they give you $10,000 for your retainer. You're not going to the bank. It's 5:30 at night. You're not going to the bank. What you going to do with that money? Sure, you can leave it in your office. You can leave it in a safe in your office. Or you just put it in your purse, put it in your pocketbook, pull it in your briefcase as you walk out the door. And you take it home. And it's just there at the house. I mean, it's very possible. I don't agree with it all, but I'm just saying it's very possible. And I think, sadly, though we don't understand it in our own sensibilities, if they brought an attorney in and he explained it and such like that, or brought a tip worker in and explained it, it's very possible that that thing would go right out the door. That case, you'll lose that case. I got you. I got you. And his servant, okay. Hear what I'm saying. I'm not justifying it because I think she lied. But think about it. If you get, let's say your tax bracket is, you're at 30% tax bracket, and I give you $1,000 for your business, whatever the services that you do. So you know in your mind that $300 of that $1,000 is going to Uncle Sam, right? Because it's 30% tax bracket. But if you don't report that money, you now basically you got an extra $300 because you don't report it. So if you just take that money home and never report it, you actually have come up 30% rather than lost 30%. Not saying it's right. I'm only pointing out what I'm like. So that, I mean, she might have said, she did say she got it from her blood, sweat, and tears. She got it from stores. I think she was not being honest right there. No, I agree. I agree 100,000%. I agree. I'm not saying, please understand, I'm only sharing what I understand. So I'm not saying that it's right, nor am I even giving justification for it. I'm only pointing out I can understand that. And you know what? Matter of fact, I think Nathan Wade, was it Nathan or Terrence? I think it was Nathan, kind of inadvertently walked on that landmine when he was in court saying that, yeah, she paid me back in cash. I used my company credit card. She paid me back in cash, and then I just spent the cash and didn't use the money to pay off and put the money back into the company. So basically the company paid for your trip and you use your company to fund your travels. That's actually wrong. But I think he almost stepped into it, and I don't know why they didn't jump all over him. So again, I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm only saying this is how I understand it. So, and please understand, I'm not trying to get into the weeds on it, on the fine nuances of, it was Nathan Wade. Thank you so much, Q. I'm not trying to get into the fine nuances and weeds of it. I'm only pointing out what I understand. And I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. I do think there's lots of things besides Fani and I'm not saying she got the money ill. So let's say that somebody came in and they needed her services and they gave her a $20,000 retainer. And so she's earned that money by doing $20,000 of work. I'm not challenging that she doesn't do the work. I'm not challenging that she was dishonest in her practice. I'm only saying that she was dishonest in the presentation of how she paid back that money to Nathan and so forth. But I don't think that's the most egregious thing that she did. In my opinion, that's probably low on the totem pole of things that she did. Lying on the stand is probably much higher. Disrespect and candor to the court is higher, much further up the list. And other things of that nature, I think, are much worse than whether or not she truly paid back Nathan Wade. Matter of fact, I think the fact that she went on trips and she was supposed to not receive gifts of $100 or more without reporting it is further up the list. For crying out loud, she hired her boyfriend. That's higher up the list. Her boyfriend was married. That's at the top of the list. So there's a lot of other things before I think I should get out the wet noodle about how she, pays her, somebody, see right here, somebody asked about the IRS. See, that's why I think she said, that's why I think she lied about, I get the money from Publix and I got it through my blood, sweat, and tears. What does that mean? Are you out there like gardening or something? Like, what are you doing to get stacks and stacks of cash like that? Like, that doesn't make sense. So I do think there's probably, there could probably be some IRS issues there for sure. But that's not my biggest issue. There's a lot of other issues, lots of other problems that Fani would have, that Nathan would have, that Terrence would have, that would be much, much worse than, yes, right here. Adultery is the issue. Absolutely. That's, to me, look, she can, I don't care if she's swinging on a pole to get money. Okay. The fact that she's an adulteress is actually far worse than that. As a matter of fact, people that spin on poles probably have a lot of cash in their house too. Again, I don't justify it. I'm only pointing out how I understand it and interpret it. That's it. All right, let's see. This is a good question, and I'm not 100% certain. Hopefully, this week coming up, we will have a real attorney on, not the pre-K attorney, but a real bona fide attorney to come on and just answer questions. Literally, I'm going to introduce him and give him a chance to kind of spin out what he's been up to, what he's learning, and then it's just questions from you all. So hopefully, and then you can ask like, hey, because I lead in his video that I'm referring to, he doesn't mention that. And I thought that was it. It sounds like there's like two systems running. Like there's a cash system and a credit system. So if somebody pays you in cash, you're responsible for that. And if somebody pays you in credit or puts the money in the IOLTA, then you have to do the work and you're responsible for it that way. That's how I understand it. But please, hopefully we will have that gentleman on. I will tell you as soon as I have confirmation. Let me look right now. He has not replied back yet. As soon as I have confirmation, I will let you all know. And it's just going to be a Q&A because you all have seen him all over the place being a talking head. And I would love for y'all just to get your questions answered because I got questions. So I might actually sign in my other account and just ask questions because there's a lot of questions that I have as well. Vicky says married people are off limits. There you go. Like, can you imagine? Like, just go back in the theater of your mind. How much of this story would exist if this very simple 5-word commentary from Vicky Camacho, shout out to Vicky, if Fani Willis had applied by that, just run by that. Say, oh, that man is married. He's off limits. Like, man, you know what? Type Vicky in the chat. Just type Vicky in there. That right there would have fixed a lot of this problem. And if you put it in capital letters, extra bonus points. I mean, like, it's so simple. Like, it's so simple. It's literally, that's how I say we complicate things. We complicate things to the point that it becomes untenable. But God's law was very simple. It's one man, one woman. That's it, done. All this other stuff that we've added to it, that's us. That's us. That's our fault. That's not some complexity that was originally intended. We did that. So yeah, I mean, it's just so simple. And imagine how much of this would not even exist. It would not even be an issue if Fani had applied by this. Now watch this. If Nathan had applied by, I am a married man, I am off limits. Let me go take a cold shower. Let me go to counseling. Let me go get some brothers that can tell me that I'm a knucklehead and punch me in the mouth because I'm trying to be crazy. Let me go do that. But no, so Nathan was wrong too, by the way. I want to say that again, Just like I said yesterday in yesterday's live stream, Nathan is wrong as two left shoes just as much. But if Nathan had said, you know what, I'm off limits. I'm off limits. Let me get my head back in the game, both of them, back in the game and focus on my marriage. That would have fixed, imagine how much of this would not exist. I mean, then they would be prosecuting Trump and would have none of this baggage. We would have none of this baggage. None of it. And this would still be the best live stream in the world. Yeah, like, let me go reconcile my wife. Right, let me go fix that. Right, let's see this, get this right. People go through bad times. They need uplifting and God, not dark help. Right? Absolutely. I don't think they even got help. I don't think Nate had help. I mean, just think about it. I mean, there's so many little small details that if somebody had some common sense and called them out and said, you know, sis, you know you out of pocket, right? You know you wrong for this, bruh. You know you wrong, right? You wrong. Imagine that. Just imagine that. We would not be having this conversation. Good to see you, Chicken Grease. Good to see you. Grace and peace. And it's just amazing to me how simple things would be if we had just done what was correct and right. But now it's gotten so far afield, it's almost like there's no way we can ever make it right. There's no way I can imagine being simple and easy when now we've made it so complex because we're the ones that are the problem. It's us. We did that. Nobody else's fault. It's us. Absolutely, Tawana. I mean, I'm having fun with it and I'm enjoying it. If you're new to this channel, thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Jason. I'm a pre-K law student. I have never been to law school whatsoever. All I do is just give social commentary and political commentary from a Christian perspective. I just like to talk about these topics. And some reason or another, the Lord has blessed me with this wonderful live chat, the best live chat in the world, mind you. And we just sit around and talk about it. So we just got done looking at Fani Willis's response to Jim Jordan and his request for receipts. Fani said, you're going to get them receipts when I give them to you. When I get them out of my purse, when I get them out of the glove box of my car, you'll get them when you get them. Be quiet. Then we also looked at the tail end of the First Amendment hearing with Judge McAfee, kind of understood that. And then somehow or another, we got talking about whether or not Fani really truly had all that stacks and stacks of cash in her house. Talked a little bit about that. I gave my opinion on that, what I understand. And then we just started going down the rabbit trail. And somebody made a really great point. And I really am kind of mad that I did not pin it because it was a great comment from somebody. And here it is right here. I'm so glad I found it again. And so now we're just talking about it because Vicky Camacho made a great point. Married people are off limits. Like really, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, period. That would have been it. That's the end of the discussion. If this statement right here had been applied by Fani and Nathan, if it had been applied by both of them, married people are off limits. I'm married, I'm off limits. Imagine, we wouldn't be having this discussion. We wouldn't be talking about whether or not she really truly paid the man back, whether she really got 3 safes in her house and all that kind of stuff. We wouldn't have known that you can wear that dress backwards. We wouldn't have known any of this stuff had she just done the right thing. That's it. No, I can't. Ricardo, I cannot. I can't. And I'll be honest with you, because I was going to just say like, man, can you imagine working with her? I can't imagine working with her. I just really can't. I just can't. I also think it's comical. This is something else I noticed. Every attorney on Fani's team that we've seen has been a white person, but she railed against the Trump team that they are all white races. So what makes Trump's team white races, but hers are not? That just befuddled my mind. And we don't need to talk about it today, but it was just something interesting. I noticed it when we saw her team today. I'm like, those are all white people again. Like, you don't hire black folk? Like, black folk are not good enough to represent you? Like, what's going on here? Crazy. All right. Eric, good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Paragon, Indiana. Really? Well, good to see you. Lucretia, thank you so much. Good to see you, Eric. Looks like everybody's giving some love and some shout outs. Donated dark money. Look, now, given the fact that since this story has erupted, there's been an issue with bookkeeping. Remember the story that they reported, Fulton County reported that they accidentally paid Nathan Wade from the wrong account. They were paying him from the wrong bank account. There was that. There was a whole issue with buying those cars 2 years ago. She got $700,000 to buy cars for her department. Come find out they hadn't used all of those, but they wanted almost $500,000 to buy more cars this year. There's that. I mean, there's a lot of weird stuff going on. There's a lot of money just moving, and nobody knows where it's going to. Nobody knows where it came from. Nobody knows what happened to it. It's just weird. And then when she gets pressed about federal grant money, she says, "Oh, you'll get your receipts when I give you the receipts. Don't ask for that stuff. You'll get them when I send them to you." That's crazy. Oh, thank you so much, Tawanda. I did get my knowledge from the Lord. Thank you so much. All right, lots of good family housekeeping, family reunion going on. Lots of good. Yeah, I mean, we would never know that it's possible to wear that dress backwards. We wouldn't know that. I mean, think about that. I mean, the amount of people, like, it's very possible. Let me just show you, again, not to be all sentimental and wishy-washy, but just think about it. Just think about it. If you've joined this Dear Woke Christian community in the last 5 weeks, so since January, let's just say 8 weeks since January, you do realize that you are probably more than likely a gift from Fani Claus, because I've been talking about Fani Willis since about that time, give or take. So we wouldn't know each other had Fani not been able to keep herself together, keep her composure. I mean, that's kind of long down the way, but that's a byproduct. Because I started talking about Fani because before I would do social commentary on sermons and progressive Christianity, Black Lives Matters, critical race theory, and such of that nature. But since then, I've shifted gears and gone into political commentary and social commentary, and from a Christian perspective. But I just think that's funny that none of that stuff would have happened had Fani kept herself together. Just something interesting. She is shameless. I agree. Now, here's something right here. She's a part of W.E. Burkhart Du Bois' Talented 10th. I agree. More than likely, no question there. Like, this is something interesting, Ricardo. If you are a highly melanated person, if you are a Black person, and you've been to a historically Black college or university. Oh, by the way, my name is Jason. I went to Morehouse College, class of 99. So that is the premier male college here in Atlanta, Georgia. And I'm an alumni of that fine institution. Notice something about pretty much all of our HBCUs, historically Black colleges and universities. Almost every one of them, without fail, has a W.E. Burkhart Du Bois dorm, building, wing, or something. Very, very, very few of them have a Booker T. Washington dorm, building, wing, annex, anything of that nature. It's always befuddled me because W.E. Burkhart Du Bois was an avowed Marxist, whereas Booker T. Washington was a Presbyterian, for crying out loud, but he was also a former slave who founded the great institution that we know as Tuskegee University in Tuskegee, Alabama. But I just think it's so interesting that that his legacy is very rarely recognized on historically Black colleges and universities. But W.E. Burkhart Du Bois, as a profound Marxist, avowed Marxist, is. That's so weird to me. And that's a rabbit trail that I don't know how we got on. I just decided to talk about it, and I thank you for listening. And there's my sister Q Howard in the building, class of 2000. All right, so I'm not certain how this conversation got started, but it looks like a good one nonetheless. Sharon Boxley, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna move this around. I can move these around and kind of make your names and everything get bigger. I like that. That looks good. All right, Sharon Boxley, thank you so much for this great comment. She says, if we stroll through history, we would see that so-called religious organizations, thank you for using so-called, I do appreciate it, have welcomed nefarious politicians into their pulpits for decades. And that's true. I think that's part of the problem. Like, for example, let's be honest. What is Jesse Jackson a minister of? What is Al Sharpton a reverend of? What? What is it? I'll wait. It won't happen. We just giving out participation prizes. Wait, Nakia? You're 90, you're 98? So that means you graduate. Well, no, I sat out. So it's very possible I'm still older than you. But you're my sister nonetheless. Good to see you, Melissa. Good to see you. Lots of good family reunion. Shouting out Melissa, stopping by the chat. You know, it's like, this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. When I tell you that this is the best live chat in all of YouTube, this is what I'm talking about. Like, Melissa just came in, she said hi. And once she said hi, so here's Melissa saying good morning right here. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people that have said shout out to Melissa just because she came in and said hi. So if Melissa was having a bad day, like, you know what, I'm not feeling too good, let me go see what Jason talk about. And now all of a sudden, just out of the blue, 7 people just sending her shout outs, saying that there's, saying hi to her. Eric has had some issues going on in his life. And I see it countless times where people that know what's going on with Eric are asking about his well-being. I didn't do it earlier. I apologize for that, Eric. I'm trying to see where it is. But yeah, checking on Eric, how are you doing? Here's one right here. Just out of the blue. Like, nobody's telling you to do that. Nobody's here saying, hey, everybody, make sure you check on Eric, anything like that. You all are genuinely doing that just out of the kindness, concern of your heart, because you like, hey, you over here listening to Dear Woke Christian, you probably need some help too. So like, let me give you a bit of love. Like, that's the reason why I say this is the best live chat in the world, period, bar none. Catch me outside if you want to fight. Okay. I mean, for real, like that, nobody's telling you to do that. And y'all are doing it on your own. And I just think that's amazing. All right. That's all I want to say. Crown College class of 99. Well, 97. Crown College. Where's Crown College? Where's that? Now I got to look that up. It better not be overseas or something. I better not be trying to do that. Crown College. Really? In Minnesota? Okay, that's where my grandparents were. Okay. Ooh, this is a nice looking campus. Okay, I see you, Crown College. I like that purple. I secretly like the color purple. Okay, I see you, Crown. Okay. Shout out to Crown College. Okay. I ain't mad at you at all. Okay. Good to see y'all. Lots of good conversation going on. No, I don't think I'm gonna stand on that one. I don't think Jesse Jackson has ever been a pastor. I don't think Al Sharpton has ever been a pastor. I know Raphael Warnock is titled and stands in a pulpit on a Sunday, but I question what he preaches, but that's beside the point. That kind of goes along with my point, though. I'm just having fun with this now. So, no, I agree with you. What do we got here? Man, thank you, Eric. Thank you for that. And I'm glad that you're doing well. But my point is, even though I might not say, hey, everybody, make sure you throw your arms around Eric and check on Eric, you all do it organically. Nobody's making you do it. And that's the part that really stands out to me, that this group of people brought together by the shenanigans of Fani, the Shafanigans, really do care about other folk, man. That's great. I mean, and imagine, like, again, coming to this channel and not knowing what this channel's about, but knowing that, hey, man, these people here are really receptive. They're super inviting. I think there's probably very few of you all I wouldn't want to go out and have wings with, or go and hang out with, or if you were part of my churches, a lot of y'all, I'm like, man, I would absolutely love for y'all to be members of Smyrna Press with us. So that being the case, I think it goes to show, like, not everybody on YouTube and not everybody in these internet streets is as bad as we make it out to be. Sure, there's the really bad trolls out there, sure, but let's put those over to another side of the discussion and look at this side of the ledger. There's a lot of good people that are at least trying to be good, trying to be kind to people, and I see it in the live chat all the time. Yo, that's a great question. Chicken grease, get out of here. Wait, are we talking about Crown College now? I think we are. I will be 50 in 2 weeks. So I got you beat, told you. All right, trying to see that I missed something. Who's the Minister of Chaos? Probably Al Sharpton. Jesse Jackson. Louis Farrakhan. All right, let me see. All right. I think we're talking about Crown College. We're talking about, oh no, it is Minnesota. There we go. Tawanda says it was in Minnesota. Yeah, I mean, I just pulled it up. It looks pretty nice. I ain't mad at you. I'll wear a Crown College hoodie. Give me one of them purple hoodies. I'll wear it. Yes, Q, can you please drop your link to your channel in here, please? All right, Vicky, thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Bernardo, what was it you were going to blurt out? What were we going to blurt out? Lots of good side conversations. I feel like there might be some side conversations I missed. All right. Chat Foundation is strong. Yes, it is. Absolutely. It looks nice. I mean, I like the color. I absolutely like it. Thank you so much, Susie. Thank you. Girl, look, let me tell you something. Q showed up at church and I made sure that everybody in security knew who she was. They knew what car she drove. They knew her social security number and everything of that nature. So hey, look, I just want to make sure she felt loved and we knew where the police were. So look, that was it. That was it, Q. Eric said, I'll be 2 weeks older in 2 weeks. I love it. Okay, so Sharon Boxley, I think you're asking about Jim Jordan, and you ask a good question. Why doesn't he just go to the financial department that oversees federal funding accounting? I think part of the problem is that there's no paperwork there. That's the part I don't think. Now, again, to the point that I made at the beginning, if she had sent said paperwork or uploaded the paperwork to the K drive or whatever, however you do that, then you have the paperwork. And if the committee is asking for it, just submit it and be done with it. But the back and forth only makes it worse, in my opinion. But I don't think that if she had done that, to your question, I don't think she's done that, because I do think they probably would have just procured it. But also, there might be other documents that they weren't able to get from there. It sounds like something was given. Let's just say there was 20 artifacts that were needed. And it sounds like from reading the back and forth exchange that not all 20 were submitted. So therefore, if he went to the department, the funding department, he only got partial information. And so therefore, where's the rest of it? Like there's only 6 pieces, only 8 pieces, artifacts in the uploaded folder. I need 12 more. Where are those other pieces? Because it looks like there was like 5 categories in his original video, his original request. And then in that was like 2 or 3 little artifacts in each one of those requests. So let's just say 10 for laughs and giggles. So I think that's part of the problem, is like it's not actually there, which to me, I think is part of the real problem. If you had it, just give it and keep it moving. You don't have to showboat and chest bump. You can just do it and be finished. But that's just my observation. See, Shirley, I think this is a double-edged question. Is that such a thing, double-edged question? I think it's a double-edged question. When it's convenient, you hear people say things like, when it's convenient for them, they're prosecuting 5,500 million criminals a day, okay? But when it's inconvenient, they say things like, we can't stop in order to get you the receipts from the Dunkin' Donut party we had last Tuesday. So it really just depends on what it is that's being asked of them. Because I feel like Fani's extremely inconsistent. When she's asked one thing, we got a 3,000% prosecution success rate. We've prosecuted the moon and this, that, and the other. But then when Jim Jordan needs something like, oh man, we're just we can't do that. We can't take one person off to hit print on the PTL report and just fax it to you. We can't do that because we're over here doing so much. It seems, in my opinion, double-edged. I don't think that's the right word. Come up with a better word. Wait, what did you say? Jason told me to leave, so I'm leaving while continuing to comment. Why are you leaving, Chicken Grease? We don't want you to leave. You're here. Are there any Presbyterians that have premillennial eschatology? I'm sure there are. I just don't know any. And no slight to them at all. I'd have to look. Maybe I'll call Joel today and ask him. But premillennial eschatology. I don't know any, but that does not mean anything. But that's a great question. All right, we see. Right, yeah, like, where's the paperwork? Where's the paperwork? It's in Nathan's head. Like, that's crazy. Like, just get the man his paperwork and then we'd be done. Imagine again, if Fani just did what she was supposed to be doing, thou shalt not lie. If she had just done what she needed to do, we wouldn't be having this conversation. I'm not trying to make it super, super simple, but a lot of this actually is simple. Just do what you're supposed to do. You are asked to do this, do it. That's all. And it doesn't need to be more complex than that. Well, part of the reason is because when you don't have, in this current climate that we're in, Shirley, when you don't have an argument, you immediately go to what is the external differences between yourself and the person or people that are asking for, that are pressing you, that are asking you for questions, whatever. So, and is there some way to leverage victimhood in that regard? So I call it the victimhood stock market. So as soon as I can be challenged, as soon as I'm challenged by somebody, hey, it's a woman. So, hey, you're just mad at me because I'm a man. Or they're a person of less melanin. Oh, you're just mad at me because I'm black. Or whatever it is, you find some way to discredit their question, discredit their pressing back, simply because, all because of race or some kind of external factor that is immutable, that's mutable external factor that doesn't really matter at all. It doesn't matter that I'm black. It doesn't matter that you're a woman. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Fani, you're supposed to be turning in this paperwork. Where's the paperwork? But she can't do that. I'm waiting for her to say that it's racist. I'm waiting for it. And eventually she probably will. Because I think she was supposed to turn in the paperwork today at noon Eastern Standard Time. It's 12:45 now. So if she hasn't turned it in, which the likelihood is that she hasn't, So if she didn't turn it in, then there's probably going to be some kind of brouhaha stirring up for the weekend. So it's very possible she's going to probably come out on Monday talking about Jim Jordan is racist because he's telling me to turn in my paperwork. The contempt train is coming. I agree. All right, what we got here? Lots of good stuff. Lots of good stuff coming up in here. I see a lot of back and forth, which is always good. Always agree with some good back and forth. And how many in Best Chat sent a Fani reply to this and not be terminated? I agree. I can't imagine anybody speaking to their employer, their superior, somebody at corporate like Fani. I just can't imagine anybody doing that. But, here we are. All right. I think we got most of it. Looks like some good stuff is done. Okay. Couple things. So on Monday, I have a special members only live stream for on Monday. We're going to be interviewing a gentleman that has run security for the famous rapper that has been in the news lately. He did security for him, and he contacted me and wants to come on the show and just answer questions, to tell his story and answer questions. So that's my goal, is to get him on and just let you all hear what he experienced and then take questions that you might have. We might go through a couple of the court documents, and that might add a little bit of flavoring to it, but that'll be that on Monday. And as soon as I get reply back and confirmation from the particular attorney here in the Cobb County area that has been doing the rounds all over the place, he was on Viva Fry yesterday. As soon as I get confirmation that he's coming on the show, I'm going to let you all know that we'll have him come on the show. And again, it's going to be like a Q&A, because I think most of us have heard tons of other legal minds discussing the Fani Willis disqualification case and so on and so forth. So now you've asked questions. So hopefully he'll be able to come on and just take questions, and that'll be for everybody. So I just want to give you a chance to kind of think of some questions that you would have for, as soon as I know for a fact he's coming. I'm praying he can come on Wednesday. That'll be great. Praying he can come on Thursday. That'll be great. And the reason I wanted to backpedal on Wednesday is because this Wednesday coming up, I'm going to be going to go play bingo. I haven't played bingo in a long time. That's right. I'm going back to Fighting for the Faith. We're going to be playing prophecy bingo on Wednesday, and that's going to become crazy. I love them. So if you're new to Dear Woke Christian, I actually started my channel a long time ago, and somehow or another, by God's grace, I found myself as a guest on Chris Roseborough's Fighting for the Faith's channel, where they play prophecy bingo. And that was such a ridiculous, fun game. So they reached out to me and said, hey, you want to do this again? I said, you say less, let's do it. So we'll be doing that on this coming Wednesday. It's going to be pre-recorded, so it's not going to be live, but I'm pretty sure somebody I know might be live streaming it while he's playing it, just to give you guys a little, give you a little bit of a taste of the shenanigans that are going on there. So that'll be it. So this Monday coming up, April 1st, I will be sitting down with a security guard who's run security here in Atlanta for the famous rapper that is being alleged to a lot of different things going on. And I'm sure you saw them in the news. So he and I are going to be talking on Monday. We're going to be going through a little bit of the case, a little bit of his experiences, and then just taking your questions. On Wednesday, I'll be going to Fighting for the Faith. And hopefully Thursday, as soon as this person hits me up and says that he's coming on, I would love to have him come on Thursday so we can have him come on and just answer questions. That's all he's going to do, is just give you a lay of the land and then just answer all your questions. So your question about IOLTA, there we go. Your question about why did Judge McAfee do what he did, he's going to hopefully be able to answer that, and just tons of other things, just that stuff that we don't know about, that highbrow legal back and forth type of stuff. I really hope that he'll be able to answer that. So that will be it. So that's the lay of the land. This coming today is Monday, Thursday, which is the day before Good Friday. Of course, tomorrow is Good Friday, so I'm gonna take off tomorrow and hang out with the wife and daughter. President Firstborn is on a high school trip. No, it's actually not. No, it is not an April Fool's joke. It really is. When I talked to him, I was like, hey, you do realize it's April Fool's. And I kind of thought about that too, but no, no, for real. So that will be going on a Monday. No, not an April Fool's joke. So when we fighting for the faith, when they do prophecy bingo, it's pre-recorded. However, when they upload it for general consumption, when they upload it to for everybody to see, they give you the bingo board, so you can make a bingo board and you can play along with it. It's just not going to be live and interactive, but it's still, trust me, it is a hoot. So please prepare yourself for some good laughter there for sure. So tomorrow, I don't plan on doing anything tomorrow, but y'all know how I am. Just keep your eyes on the update, whether or not I'm going live. And then on Saturday, I think we're okay. I think I had not planned to do anything on Saturday. And of course, Sunday is Easter Sunday. I'm hanging out with the family, but I'm coming back on Monday to hang out with y'all. So that is the plan. That is the plan, at least. But watch this. I'm telling you right now, if the house is quiet, if something pops off, I'm coming back in here. So keep your eyes on the notification bell, because if something goes south and I got time, I'm doing it. I think we're supposed to be doing a recording in the studio tomorrow. I just realized I forgot about that. We got to do a recording tomorrow at the studio. But besides that, though, everything else is cool. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Susie Q. I appreciate that. Thank you. There's Fighting for the Faith. Prophecy Bingo is hilarious. Really? Okay, that's where you found me. Well, there we go. Well, I will be back. And hopefully they'll be dropping some little teasers about it. If nothing else, I know a guy who might be like recording it while he's playing it. I heard he might, but don't tell anybody out loud. All right, let's see. I think that is it. Everybody, I'm going to end right here with D. Y'all, everybody, have a beautiful, wonderful Good Friday. Happy Resurrection weekend to everybody if I don't speak to you before the end of the week. And hopefully we'll talk before then. But if not, I'll see you all on Monday for sure. If not Saturday, we'll see what happens. Anyway, everybody, take care. Have a great weekend. Grace and peace.